Step into the paranormal with Ernie Atwell and David Seiler, brought to you by Paranormal Inc., right here on WLFE DB Radio.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 51 of Step Into the Paranormal. I'm Dave Seiler.
It's your boy, Ernie.
And glad you could join us on this fine Sunday evening.
It's going to be a good show.
Oh, it is. It is. So, where'd you go last night?
Oh, man. We went to Jason's Woods in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It was the last night for the Halloween attraction for the year. So we figured we'd end out the spooky season by a group of us taking a day trip. And, man, did we have fun.
Oh, we had a blast.
Dave had me laughing so damn hard.
And believe it or not, I didn't run from anything.
The funniest thing that got me, we were going through one of the houses, and it was pitch black.
Oh, dark.
And
You couldn't see.
I couldn't tell you how many walls I hit because I couldn't see where I was going. And all I hear is Dave yelling for Ernie to stop touching his butt. And I'm like, Dave, I'm up in the front.
There was somebody behind me. I have no clue. It kept yoink, yoink.
And every time they grabbed him, he walked slower.
I'm like, yeah.
But it was fun. Everybody that's tuning in tonight, if you're able, stick around for the entire hour. We have some big show announcements coming at the end.
Yep.
Some events that are
Coming up.
just got scheduled that are coming up. You definitely don't want to miss. One of the events going to be amazing, especially after you see tonight's show.
Absolutely.
So, a few weeks ago, we were at the 2021 Halloween extravaganza in Martinsburg, West Virginia, at the historic Roundhouse.
Yes, and a lot of our good friends were there, including the gentleman we're about to introduce.
And man, let's just bring him in and get it going.
Party on, dude!
I'd like to welcome Robert Murphy from Elite Paranormal Society. How you doing, Rob?
Doing well, guys. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thank you for being here, my brother.
Basically, I'll just fill everybody in that wasn't there. It was a 3-day Halloween extravaganza at the Roundhouse. And it was so many different events. It was vendors, and we did lectures. We had a paranormal panel, and it was just a lot of fun. But
it was amazing.
The way they ended out the Friday and Saturday was with a real live paranormal investigation. Dave and I, we tired out. So we spent Friday and Saturday in our hotel rooms at night. But the investigations was led by Rob. And Rob, if you want to just...
Well, let's start with, we took our friend right here, Sandra, with us.
Yeah, it was Sandra's debut to the public in person.
And it was, we put a case, brand new. Just literally, we didn't even open it until we were there. Assembled it there, put her in this brand new case, sealed it up, put a nice little front on it with a little bit of history behind it, and left her on the corner of the table. At the end of the night, when we were done, we wanted to make sure she's safe. So we actually put her in the business office in a closet and had the business office locked. Then it comes to that evening when they're doing the investigation. Apparently, Spring and her husband.
Well, we'll let Rob, because Dave and I weren't there.
We weren't there.
We had no influence over the investigation. We had no parts of the investigation. Like I said, we were back in our hotel rooms like fat asses eating cold cuts, watching TV during the investigation.
I resemble that, and watching the fight outside of my window. But
there was
it ended up on the hood of his car.
In the middle of the night, there's like some fight out in the parking lot of the hotel, and he's texting me in the middle of the night like,
dude, check your car.
The fight landed on your car. I'm like, oh man. I was like, you know what, I'll just wait till I get up in the morning, because if something's wrong with my car, it's going to aggravate me for the rest of the night.
So that how I found out about this is I came in the next morning and Spring comes running at me. Dave, did you hear? I'm like, no.
Yeah, we showed up, Rob. It was a few moments before you got there. It was either Friday morning or Saturday. I think Sunday morning.
Whatever day we're on.
Yeah, and Spring come running up. And
I'm going to let you take over from here, Rob. What happened that night?
Well, we did we had an investigation. It was earlier on Friday night that I had led one group with. And Saturday night, they decided the investigation was going to be starting at midnight and go to 3 o'clock. Prior to that, I did know about the doll. You guys showed me the video. And I'm very apprehensive when it comes to haunted objects or anything like that. But then I watched the video. Pretty impressive.
What video? What you referring to? Our
your friend behind you up on the shelf.
Yeah, I'm saying when we opened her up and cased her and everything.
Yeah, the video that you guys, when you first, and again, you could tell you guys were doing just to kind of document you receiving it and getting ready to. But I'm usually very skeptical about, and I am. So like the REM pod, one thing going off was one thing. When you start catching EVPs and you have other things that happen, that's interesting. But honestly, 12 o'clock, midnight, getting ready to start an investigation, I was tired. Last thing I was thinking about would have been the doll. I didn't even know you. So I ended up, by the third round of us investigating, we were down at the original roundhouse that was burnt down.
Right.
And the owner comes out, or Mike comes out, Spring's husband, and he's like, "Hey, Rob, there's some crazy sounds coming from our closet. You know, we've never heard this." I said, "What?" He says, "Yeah, we don't know what's going on in the closet. I mean, something's going on. Something's making a lot of noise." All right, cool. I'm there. Let's go. So run up there real quick, and I grabbed 3 of the people that were with me in my group. I wanted some extra observation witnesses. So we get back up into the office and we sit for a couple of minutes. His wife is in there and she's saying, yeah, I was just saying the same thing that he had said. And wait a few minutes, no noise. And I didn't understand that he was saying your doll was in there. I thought he said your dog was in there. And I'm like, no kidding. The dog's going to make noise. I opened the closet up and of course, there's the doll. There's Sandra. She's just sitting in her little case and everything. Cases, well, you don't have the travel case with that, right? Travel case.
Yeah, the travel case is basically just like that, but it's taller.
Right, it's taller and it's clear, so she's actually on her feet.
So hearing no noise, turn around, open the closet door. Here's the doll staring at you. Okay, no big deal. Again, I don't care about dolls. Doesn't really mean anything to me. But what's making the sound is the curiosity part. So we start to debunk. I'm going to debunk, try to figure out what the sound is. So I step inside the closet. It's a very deep closet. And I shut the door behind me because I don't want the owners to know what I'm doing, whether it has anything to do with the doll or not. I don't want them to know. I immediately start rocking the doll really pretty good as far as while it's sitting in its case. It's a pretty sizable case. And I start rocking it. And they immediately go, "Oh, my God, that's it. Whatever you're doing, that's the noise." So I open the closet back up and I'm like, okay, so we know it's the doll, but still got to try to debunk. So I start jumping up and down, look like I lost my mind. And the woman Spring is like, that's concrete. Well, it does have carpeting over it.
Yeah.
In all fairness. But we have to try to debunk, got to see if there's any vibration. We're at there is a live railroad station track that goes by. So I just want to make sure it's not vibration somehow. Wasn't vibration. So nothing seems to be happening. I shut the closet door, go right back down to the group that I was with. And her husband went down with me. Partway in, probably 20 minutes later, he says, hey, my wife's been trying to call me, evidently. She's tried like 6 or 8 times and hasn't been able to get through. But the noise is happening again. So this time I, again, want to check out, see what's happening. So I run back and I actually carry a holster that has all my recorders and whatnot in it, and they're flying out as I'm running. Everybody else is picking them up as we went. We go inside, and now the entire group, which was a large group, goes in with me, and we all file into this room, and we sit for a few minutes and wait. No sound. So I started explaining to the group about this doll. I opened the door up. Typically, I wouldn't, and I shouldn't probably have without permission, but I went ahead and I picked the case up and I set it on the table so we can see what's going on with it. 2 women in the location who have abilities, they start having issues, and one of them ends up leaving. She swears it's a lot of pressure on her chest. Yeah, no, I can't stand here.
Nice. I missed that part.
Yes, I didn't tell you guys.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I spoke to Rob earlier.
And I realistically, when I was listening to my recorder going over it, that's what jarred my mind about remembering that. Because we're right next to the doll itself.
Right.
The owner, Mike, is standing. He wasn't even going to shut the door. He's like, nope. First, he's like, don't bring that. Don't bring that out of the closet.
Scooby-Doo.
So, and he's like, somebody got ready to shut the door. He's like, no. He stayed right at the door with his hand on the knob. He was ready to be the first to go.
Oh, Lord.
So we end up, Kim says, do you have a spirit box? And I was like, yeah. She says, can we do a quick session? I was like, sure we can. So we end up doing a session, and the spirit box is the AM FM radio that's going through stations really fast. We're going through about 10 to 14 stations a second. So we are asking a lot of questions. I caught some, I know there are EVPs when Spring is talking, but there's so many people in there, we have to kind of discard them because of it. So listening to it, I can go ahead and go through the spirit box, and using Audacity, I filter out and I can listen to hear what's actually being said. Ironically, one of the EVPs that Dave and Ernie got from it when they were actually taking it out of the package for the first time, taking it out of the box and whatnot, was it almost sounded like a low growl, which ended up being talking about blood. And one of the spirit boxes is need more blood. Not trying to creep anybody out, but it seems to correlate because there is little specks of blood on this doll. I did get several other ITCs off of it, which I want you guys to be able to hear it, judge for yourself what it's saying. I can tell what they're saying. So it continued. So now I was real curious tonight to find out, Dave, has it been moving or has anything been happening since?
And it has been. So I called Ernie a few days ago, and I said, Ernie, while you were last here, did you move the doll? I thought he was screwing around with me, just kind of creep me out. And he's like, dude, I swear.
See, I had Sandra, because Dave cut out before I did in West Virginia. So I had Sandra for a few days, and I had to come over for something.
Yeah. And so
I forget what I came over for. So I just wanted to bring her back and put her there. And of course, Dave thought that I was playing a joke on him.
Yeah, because she was here on, like, leaning against my monitor.
Can you resend her the link?
Resend who the link?
Kim.
Not like I'm in the middle of a live show or anything.
She's having issues coming in.
All right, let me figure that out. So the other thing is, Rob, when we were looking at the doll the next morning, what did you find in the case?
Well, and I'm not sure what it is that's littered on the bottom of the case, and we didn't see it the night before. I don't even know what that was. I mean, there was some material that was at the bottom. So out of curiosity, we even tried to turn it upside down, the doll. It's got a tiny little pocket on it. We were trying to see if there was any debris in the pocket, if anything was in the lining of the dress of the doll, and there was nothing there. So if I was thinking like I should had it not been 3:30 in the morning at the time, I would have left a recorder there because I'd be kind of curious to see what you would have got overnight with a recorder by it.
Well, it was really interesting because on the wait a minute, Ernie's having to point things out for me here. It's like, okay, wait a minute, here you go. Let me make sure Kim gets in here. There you go, and it's away. There we go. All right. It looked like lint or dust. So the really interesting part is the stand that's actually on her is brand new. It's metal, so it's not going to hold lint or dust. The case she was in was brand new.
Yeah, we opened the travel case that like I said, when we brought her out at the Roundhouse, that was the first time we took her in public. So the case that she was in there that you're referring to, we opened that. Like when we had it shipped to us, we opened it for the first time there.
So it was like little dust balls.
Yeah.
And I can't, there's nothing. I flipped her over. I looked, pardon me for picking up a dress, but there's nothing there. So I don't know where this lint came from or this dust came from.
And she remained closed overnight.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when we put her, when we first got there and we put her in the case, it was before the show. I mean, the event even started, and you know, once we put her in the case and shut it up, that's the way she remained the whole time. So
yeah. Now, to let you guys know the story behind her, so her name's Sandra, which is she's named after the person who owned her, from what we were being advised. Sandra's father got sick in 1948, was committed to Waverly Hills Sanatorium. She had no family. He had no family. She couldn't go anywhere, so she had to go with him. Very shortly thereafter, she started having breathing issues and passed away from what we believe is tuberculosis. That's what it sounds like. When I've got the doll, we were told beforehand that apparently there's blood all over her. We have confirmed it is blood, and we did a video of it. And during it, we heard, if you look at our video that we did, it sounds like a growl to us. But I showed Rob the video, and he goes, dude, that sounds like it says it's blood.
yeah.
And so I went back and reviewed the actual original uncut audio. And, you know, I boosted it a little bit, and he's absolutely right. It says it's blood. So really interesting, you know, catch there. And so apparently his EVP says it's blood as well. Or what does it say?
More blood.
More blood. So
I don't know if you had, because I'm glad.
read what John just said. Wait a minute, let me pop this out here. All right, this is John McGinnis. He is our cameraman who actually did the filming, and he actually inspected with us. Send John that link. Yeah, John. I mean, John can verify. You know, she was surprisingly clean when we got her, and she's a porcelain doll. So, I mean, she's sitting right here. She's gorgeous. But yeah, we got on our EVPs, you know, giggling. We got growls. We've got men talking, and then at the end of our video, you hear her sigh. She goes, "Ah!" And at the very end of our video, we actually came back and showed all the equipment on the table where we were at while John was packing up. None of it went off. So I can't explain, you know, as a skeptic, anytime in the paranormal field, you try to debunk first, try to prove it's something you can explain, and cut everything else away, and what's left, no matter how improbable, must be the truth.
Now,
I
was saying that morning when Spring came up to us and Mike and of course Rob, and they were telling us, you know, what occurred during the investigation. I was so, out of all the people that it could have happened to, I was so glad that these experiences happened when Rob was leading the investigation, because I like Rob's style of investigating and I love his skepticism. I mean,
yes.
That just goes hand in hand with us. So, like I told you, Rob, we were laughing about it. I said, man, this couldn't have happened to a better person,
guy. Yeah.
You know?
And by you taking it out, you are one of the few that we love you. You know, you're welcome. My house is your house, brother. Always.
I was trying to apologize fast as I can, because I know it was yours, but it was just something so.
No, as a paranormal investigator, you know, part of our family, hell yeah, grab it, figure it out.
She's going to message you. She can't seem to get in the link.
Oh, apparently she can't get in.
But what? So what? Let me ask you. I mean, I know this is a very broad question, Rob, but between viewing our documentary video and the stories and the videos we've showed you and the experience you had, what is your opinion on Sandra, basically?
No, I'm positive there's an energy of some sort attached to it. There's no question about it. There's just too much. If it would have just been your REM pod, again, I'm very skeptical, even though it didn't make any sense, because you even turned that off multiple times and reset it. And then afterwards, you show it sitting in the same spot and it's not making any noise. Typically, most people would have jumped on that alone. But then you have, I heard, the EVPs from what?
Yeah.
You know,
and the dog.
And then was it the EDI that had the batteries that?
Yeah.
The EDIs had the batteries explode. And then my dog, what she was doing to it. Hello, Kim.
Hey.
Glad you could join us.
Me too. Your link worked just fine. I don't know what happened, but I'm here.
It was the cosmos saying, just take a minute, take a breath, you get it.
Rob, I think so.
The part, Rob, that I think that got me the most was during the video, in case people don't know what I was referring to, I said, can you kill them or something like that? And I was referring to our cameraman, John. I was talking about the studio lighting.
The studio lights.
And when I said, can you kill that, the REM pod stopped. But then the thing that got me was when we were getting ready to case Sandra and Dave reached over and gently touched her foot,
it started going again.
It came right back on again. So
I mean, everybody can see the video for themselves. I mean, hopefully you guys still have it posted up. Is it still on your page?
On our YouTube channel.
If you take the time to actually and watch it as a skeptic, seriously, look at it and just really try to pick it apart. Don't go with the idea that it's truly a haunted doll, but try to debunk it while you're going and try to come up. And then you look at either it's the most coincidental situation, and I still can't explain the noises as far as the voices. It's like I said, if it was one piece of equipment, okay, we could say some crazy glitch is happening with the piece of equipment, but with all these different things, now there's something that's definitely, and that's why I said I was really curious what activity. I'm not asking if you've had any activity. What type of activity have you had since?
This is the link that I put up for everybody. It takes you right to the video. So whether you're on our right here, if you go to paranormalinc.net, hit the YouTube link right up top, you'll see it. But yeah, I've heard my dog has several times stopped at the steps, but I have a gate at the top of my steps, so she can't come down. But she sits there just whining and looking at the steps, and every now and then she'll just give a big roof at the steps. That's it. If you're watching the video, at one point when we're touching the doll, she actually tries to climb on the table, and you hear me yelling her, "No!" Like you're not allowed to do that. Then I suddenly went, "Wait a minute, why is my dog doing this?" And I kind of held her to the dog, and she started whining.
Yeah.
So, a dog's reaction in the video, which is just one more, huh?
And plus, I think, when whether you've watched the video or you're going to watch it, if you notice when we do the follow-up at the end, you'll see that I sit the REM pod closer to me than when we were opening Sandra up. So if it was something we were doing to make it intentionally go off, it would have been going off because it was even closer.
Right.
And I actually picked it up and went like this and set it out where we had it, when we did the whole process.
And then it literally, as soon as he cut the box with a knife is where it started.
Yeah, because nothing was going off. And Dave set the box in front of me and handed me a knife. And as soon as I put the blade of the knife to the seal, it just came right on.
It came right on. And even a couple times during it, we said, "Can you step away?" And it did.
Right. Kim, you were there. Before you joined us, Rob was speaking about the investigation and everything at the Roundhouse, and you were there for some of this. What's your
take on this? What happened?
Oh my goodness! So I just remember everybody being really spooked about a rattling in the closet, and then we realized that it was your doll that was in the closet. So we thought maybe we should take her out. And from there, we also had a psychic in the room with us that identified a man that he thought or she thought was attached with the doll rather than a little girl, which I thought was really interesting. However, on my EVP, I actually sat it right next to your doll and was recording the whole time. And right off the bat, we did catch a man's voice, like in a really deep voice. I'm sure you guys probably shared this already, but we caught Devil on the EVP. We caught him cursing, calling us idiots, telling us to shut up. He wasn't very friendly. I asked him, I said, "Is that your blood on the dress?" He said, "My blood." I know that was a thing with her dress. But also something I didn't get a chance to share with you guys when I was going through and listening. I can't remember her name, but the lady that was sitting behind the desk, and she hosted us at the Roundhouse, I don't tell both names. She literally walked by at her desk, and she was standing up, and he goes, "Sit down," like right before she sat. It was really creepy. He was like telling her to sit down. It was wild.
Now, what I would like to compare the male voices that you caught, Kim.
Oh, Springs in.
I would like to compare that to the male voices we caught when we did the opening of Sandra.
That would be a great idea.
If they sound similar.
Yeah, I would be very curious too. It was definitely a creepy voice, and he was definitely mad.
Right.
Kind of funny.
So we got on ours, a little girl giggling and talking, and we did get the deep voice as well that was gravelly. So
interesting.
If you get a sec, can you just text me that through IM?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd
Yes,
love to.
I'm actually still going through everything. Yes, I'll definitely send it to you guys. And I think we captured a little girl too at some point, didn't we, Robert? Like it was
Yeah.
definitely mixed in. So I don't know if it's a man pretending. It's so hard to say. But it was creepy.
My personal thought, and this is me, I think it's a dual attachment. I think it's her father. And
Ah, that
So
very well could be.
because the history behind it is he went in for a breathing disorder to Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
Mm-hmm.
She came in with him because she had no other place to go.
Right.
And Carmen, she was 10 when she passed, from what we're being told. But she passed very shortly thereafter of a breathing disorder. I
Oh.
don't have the history on him. I think he passed as well.
So see,
I
they
don't
would be
know.
inseparable. That would make sense.
Right. So I don't know, because if they had no other family and that was his baby girl,
Exactly.
I've got a 15-year-old, and if something happened to her,
Oh,
I would be like there, here and in spirit. I mean, I'm
amen. Yes.
So, it's just, so only thing I can think or hypothesize at this point is maybe he passed shortly thereafter. Before, I don't know where, but
Mm-hmm.
I think they're both attached. At least I think that.
And they just didn't cross over. Yeah, and they're stuck there. That's a really good point.
Why we have Kim on here, I got to give a why it's on my mind, because I'm very forgetful in my old age. I want to give a huge shout out to my two new buddies in the paranormal.
Oh, yes.
Her daughter Nyla and her son Isaiah.
Nice.
It was so much fun meeting them. I had so much fun with them at the roundhouse. They
had a blast.
So much fun, man. I and their Halloween costumes. I want them to know that I did see them, and I heard that they had the spookiest house in West Virginia on
They
Halloween.
literally did. We won a contest. This is true.
Nice.
We worked hard. Oh, thank you, Ernie. They'll be so excited. They literally have not stopped talking about this. They just want to go back every single day. We did go back, actually. I took them over by the tracks where we were, Robert. We were talking to the kids.
Yep.
We had a blast.
Y'all had interaction with the kids too?
I'm sorry?
You had interactions with the kids over there?
Oh, yes, with the ball lighting up. It was crazy. And that ball was still there. We went to go check and see if the ball was still there. It was. I've got it on camera lighting up several times. We were talking to the kids. And I also caught a really cool, like, white flashing, not so much an orb, but just like a light shooting up as we were leaving and telling the spirits goodbye.
Where? Because I saw Grace and I saw one as well. Where were you
See,
at?
and I actually saw it with my naked eye too. So right where the building was burned down, we were right outside of that with the equipment sitting on the ledge is exactly where it happened, right before our eyes.
Was it right near where, like, it looks like a junked up area?
Yes, right by the, and then there's like, yes. Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
I was standing there right after, and she's like, "What is that?" And we saw it doing this.
Oh wow! See, that's wild, because literally we were like, okay, we're saying goodbye now, and it was just like, shoo. I caught it on my phone, and I caught it like I saw it, and everybody was freaking out. It was just crazy.
No,
great evidence. I'll have to send you that too.
Rob, other than the incident that occurred with, we believe, Sandra caused, anything else, during the investigation? What else did we miss?
Ironically, the area is very active, but the first couple of rounds we had really very, very minimal activity. Wouldn't you say, Kim?
I would say so. At first, I was like, oh, I don't know. It was very minimal.
And then Rose, who definitely has abilities, she said the kids are outside.
Yep.
I said, and we were in another location. It was the third location we went to, and she goes, the kids are outside. I was like, do you know exactly where outside? She goes, yeah, I know where they're at. So, I wanted everybody to get a chance to experience what possible might be happening as far as activity wise. So I said, well, take us to it. And she took us straight to where Kim was referring to. And darn enough, we were using the cat balls as one of the items she was using, put a few of them on the ground. They had not come on at all that night, at all. And yet she was having them come on command. As she would talk to the kids, they would respond perfectly.
It was crazy.
Wow. Now, I tell you the thing that, and I, like I said, we did no investigating while we were there.
He did.
The strange thing that happened, and I told you about this, Rob. I think it was Saturday morning. I got there bright and early, and I was setting our displays back up. And for those that have been to the roundhouse, when you walk in the door, if you look directly across the roundhouse, you would have been looking at Dave and I and Mike King and Lori Johnson. We were over at that end, and Rob was to our left. Now, of course, the roundhouse is round. So after hence how I got the name. So as I get everything set up, I'm just sitting behind my table. I think I got a cup of coffee, and I was like, all right, I'm going to just sit here and relax till the guests start coming. Now, I saw something out of the corner of my eye. Now, this was like 9 o'clock in the morning. If you guys remember, as the wall comes around, there was like windows.
Right.
Okay. I saw with my own eye now, I saw a white horizontal shadow below the window.
Wow.
Okay. It started out horizontal, and then it kind of like manifested, and it almost looked as if someone was walking along the wall, but it was a white shadow. And knowing the location, guys, if it was a car riding by, which the layout of the land, the car isn't riding by because way up high is the train station. But there's no reflection that could come in that could cause that, especially during the day. But I just watched it just walk right along the wall. It got within one window of me, and it just kind of dissipated. And
That's
I was
crazy.
because I was sitting just like this, staring straight ahead at the door, and so I saw movement, which made me turn. And when I turned, I just saw it flip, and then like it was walking, and then it was just gone.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, there was a maintenance shed out back that's like you can still see the wires there. It's a framework, but the building itself is gone. Behind that is actually an office space. Did you guys actually be able to get in there at all during your investigation?
I have a story about that. I did not do this round. Did you?
This round I did, and last time I was there I did. And I got two things. I'll let you go first.
Okay, you sure?
Yes, ma'am.
You're talking about the one that used to be the antique store, right? It's an office space now. Before it was an antique store, and there's a picture of a man on the wall.
No, this is outside the buildings. Like if you're walking towards the bathroom, there's a concrete building with like it's still frame. And then behind that is where it's like overgrowing inside where it used to be like an office.
Oh, yes. Okay. So actually, no, the place I was referring to was the antique store part. I'm sorry. Do you know about that place?
I have. I've been there a couple times too.
Oh my goodness, that place is so cool. Well, I went in there. This was on a different investigation. It was my first time at the Roundhouse, and I was there with a group. But of course, I'm going to try to sneak off and do my own thing for a few minutes. So I waited till everybody left the room, and I was like, okay, if anything's here, now would be the time to show yourself. And plain as day, I caught this shadow just peeking out on the white brick wall. There's no other light in this room. I don't have a flash on, and you just see it peek out and go back into the wall, and it looks like the frame of a man. And supposedly there's a man that used to be in that room all the time that obviously worked on the railroad and still hangs out, and his picture's in that room. So that's pretty cool. But I want to hear your story. What happened back there? Because that place looks so creepy. When I was over at the bathrooms, I'm like, what's the story with this place?
Lori Johnson actually told me that somebody was trying to get her attention in there, and it was a male. Same place. But where I was referring to outside is where they used to do the maintenance on the trains themselves. They'd pull them in, and it was a maintenance shop for the trains at that point. But off towards like in the woods it's completely overgrown. But a couple of years ago, I was there, and I had a Ovilus running, and I hear, "Get out, dangerous, leave."
Oh wow!
So this time I go back in there, and I was like, "Hey, do you remember me? I was here a few years ago. Welcome back."
Oh my gosh, that's amazing! I think they remembered you.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. So next time we go down, I'm gonna have to take my Phasma box out there and see if I can get any direct.
So it's funny you say that, because do you guys remember my first interview? I was saying one of my very first paranormal experiences ever was at the Roundhouse. Remember I was telling you how I used to walk the tracks and I would have rocks thrown at me all the time? You guys remember that story? And my dad just thought I was playing around. Well, sure enough, that's the thing there. I went back the day I was sending you pictures, Ernie, and I was like, look where I'm at, because I knew you guys were coming in a few weeks. I went there, took out my recorder, and I was like, so do you remember me? I used to come here all the time. And I got Papa and rocks. And I used to come there with my dad, and they used to throw rocks at me. So I thought that was pretty crazy. I'm like, oh my God.
This is from Spring. She's saying it was a paint shop and a car wash as well.
Huh?
So the thing on the outside, she's saying it was a paint shop and a car wash as well.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. So I know it had trains that went through it, because you could see where the rails were and the wires that were letting the electric trains come through. But
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't know what it was. So thanks, Spring. I appreciate that.
Very cool.
Yeah. So I mean, that place is nothing but cool.
I heard
It really is.
I heard you had a surprise, Dave, there
I did.
at the party.
Oh my Lord! All right, so I'm walking around as the Grim Reaper costume party. I'm having my own good time. I'm doing my own entertainment, scaring the yell out of people. I was born
Nice.
October 30th. I love Halloween.
Me too.
I wish it was all year long. I love Halloween. So next thing I hear is, will Dave Seiler please report to the podium? Dave Seiler. People get behind me in the Grim Reaper costume and start pushing me like, okay. I get up there, and the guy who's on the guitar and the mic says, who's Dave Seiler? I'm still got my mask on. I'm like,
Oh my God.
and they start rocking out Happy Birthday.
That is
And I'm
great.
sitting there like, huh?
I love it.
Behind me with a cake with candles on it.
Nice.
Nice.
I feel old.
Me and Spring and Lori had that planned out. Cake was good though.
It was good. That thing went.
Hey, I'll tell you the part over the whole 3 days, the part I liked best was the people that had that was catering it. Their food was so freaking good.
I heard it was phenomenal.
They were the name of the company is Family Affairs, and it was like 4 older women that do all the cooking at home, and then they bring
it in.
They bring it there, and so oh my God,
They just rocked the house.
I bet that was good.
Yes.
Yep. And then the jelly guy and the jam guy. There was a guy there.
He's amazing. I'm still eating that jam. It's so good. Yes. I'm not even joking.
I'm like 20s down, like they're candy.
Dude, he's my neighbor. He lives right around the corner from me. I'm like, I was like, I saw your signs. We're gonna be at your house already now.
Yeah. I mean, he had flavors on top of flavors on top of flavors.
Yeah, he had like Mountain Dew jam. I was like blown away.
When we come back down there, man,
I'm gonna bring a whole bunch of 20s.
Stock up.
That's where I spent my most money, I think.
Yeah, it's like you'll be seeing me like this, almost like a stripper. You know, come on, give me that jelly. Give me that jelly.
Yes. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah. So I mean, the Roundhouse is a great place. Spring, who's online, who could probably Spring, go ahead and pop in your contact information if you want to come. If people want to come down there and visit you, how to contact you and how to get there. So I know she's online. I'll post it up where everybody can see it. But
even if you, as far as the Roundhouse, that was our second time there. Dave and I were in a Paracon there years ago. But even if you take the paranormal out of the equation,
the place is amazing.
That place is just so freaking amazing.
Oh, it is.
Man.
It's neat. Yeah.
History behind it.
And the thing, let me ask you guys, what is because I don't know why, but I was so drawn to those.
Oh, wait. I got to post this up.
I was so drawn to those train cars they have on display.
Yum.
And
those are great.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Because you got to figure, man, there's no telling what those cars have seen
in the years,
and where they've been. And
can you just thinking, like you said, the history that is attached to all the objects in there, just that place is just amazing. I could spend so much time there.
Did you see the mummified dog?
Yes. Oh, my kids. Oh, of course, Nyla love this dog. I know.
I didn't particularly care.
It was strange, but I think it was the story behind it. Rose told us the whole story behind it, and of course, we have Chihuahuas, so we had a soft spot in our heart for this dog. But it was, oh, I've never seen anything like it. Speaking of which, remember, Robert, when we were down there, do you remember the knocking we got?
Yes.
Oh, that was pretty cool. Down there in the pit, as I call it, that place is creepy. And all the flashlights going off, that was really neat. We did get some kind of knocking to one of our questions, like way off in the distance. So
yeah, there's definitely some sounds that came out of there, some heavy sounds. It wasn't like something light that you would think, okay, it could be a
Not at
rodent
all.
or something. It was definitely louder.
yes.
And that's one good thing I like about the evidence. It seems that over the 3 days it was captured is, you know, Rob, you know, when you investigate and, you know, you're home going over your evidence and you're trying to recreate or debunk and you're like, it sounds like this, but it could be that. But it seems like the knocks and bangs and voices and noises that you pull out of the roundhouse, they're kind of hard to dispute.
Yeah.
It's either
Yeah.
it is or it isn't. There's no in between.
Even the interaction, it's like you said, we had Lori Johnson there, and she was with my group the night before while I was on doing one of the investigations, and we went into the supervisor's office, and we had no flashlights, nothing was happening, the cat balls weren't happening, but then somehow or another, the conversation, Lori said something was messing with her, attacking her, whatever, so that creates the new conversation piece. So it's like, okay, if you want us to leave Lori here by herself, turn the cat ball on. And all of a sudden that cat ball starts lighting up.
Wow.
I said, okay, if you really want us to leave here by herself, turn it back on. And again, everything that had to do with Lori being left in that room, that cat ball would react to. Prior to that, nothing. Afterwards, nothing.
That's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I think the best EVPs I got were not in the roundhouse, but in the other building upstairs when they had just redone it. 3 or 4 years ago, whenever we were there, and it's big, wide open. So put a REM pod in the center of the room, and we just backed off, and we were talking, put a recorder down, and I mean, you just get flat out just conversations up there, just letting a tape recorder sit, and I mean, it's like somebody's talking right into the mic right here.
That's
It's
insane.
not like,
That's awesome.
and it was me and one other guy just sitting there listening. There was nobody else on that floor.
Wow.
They're talking to each other.
We had
I love it.
multiple people talk about seeing shadows, even seeing them up in the very top windows, the circle that's at the very top. A few of them, but again, that's, was it shadows? Was it not? I mean, I'm looking at the stuff that we can attest to by far between Kim and myself. Kim's experienced that, as she knows
Yes.
very well what she's talking about. It's one thing for when you have people that are nervous, which a couple of those definitely do not want to be down there next to that Chucky doll and the other ones. So of course that's where we're going to check out first.
Right. Of course.
Grant me the power.
But I think overall, generally speaking, between Mike and Spring and Lori Johnson, I think they did a remarkable job putting that whole event together. And
Oh yeah.
next time we're there for an event like that, Rob, we're going to put one of them step trackers on Mike and see just how many miles he walks throughout the weekend.
Yeah, I think we'll take some bets on it. See, who can. He just does not stop. That guy was everywhere, and the knowledge he's got about the entire location, all the history. I mean, he knows the footage of every building out there, when anything happened, all the dates. It's amazing.
And I tell you what, they're the first ones there in the morning, and
I don't know where they got sleep.
I don't know how they did it because they were there 7, 8 in the morning. And they were still there and working and running around
3 a.m. at night
after the investigation was over at 3 o'clock in the morning. Then they were back again. It's like, holy crap, man! They
got to be vampires.
They
Definitely vampires.
Yeah, I love them to death.
Mike, he had me laughing so hard because he's new to getting into the paranormal, okay, and he just finds this all so fascinating. And then, you all had the experience with Sandra, so that's all he was talking about. So I was packing up, getting ready to leave, and I was like, "Hey, Mike, I hear you're going to babysit for me for a few days." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And I went like this and pointed to Sandra. He took like 3 steps back. He's like, "No, no, 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 no."
Now, if you'd asked Nyla, it might have been a different story.
We get home that night. I don't know if it was that night or it was the next day, but I posted something about the roundhouse, and I was like, "P.S. Mike, Sandra said to tell you she misses you."
That's great.
But he was it was such a good time, man. It was weekends were so
Carmen
tiresome.
says Mike and Spring were working on the Energizer Bunny batteries.
I'm telling they are, man. I don't know. I
don't know how they did it.
It's just their deep desire and passion for the roundhouse.
They do an awesome job.
I mean, they're there around the clock, especially at events like that.
Yeah, speaking of the roundhouse, don't we have something coming up there?
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, yes.
Cliffhanger. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, you got to fill us in. I want to hear about this.
I might as well do it now.
Might as well. You got to.
We got some announcements coming up for some future public investigations. On Saturday, December 18th, in our home state of Maryland, Dave and I will be leading an investigation at the Heritage Police and Fire Museum in Essex, Maryland.
Nice.
There are very, very, very limited tickets.
It went quick. We got 5 spots available.
Yeah, we had 10 to begin with.
So if anyone interested, it is from 7 to 11 at night, $30 a ticket, and message me directly, and you will pay at the door when you get there.
And 100% of the proceeds go to the Heritage Museum. We're not taking a cut of it whatsoever.
No, nothing, never, nothing at all. It all goes to the preservation of the Police and Fire Museum.
That is awesome.
Now the big one, Saturday, April 23rd, 2022, we will be hosting our first public investigation at the Roundhouse.
Nice.
This is going to be a 4-part event. Okay, I've discussed this intensely with Dave and with Spring and Mike. The entire event is going to be from 6 p.m. until 1 a.m. Now, when you arrive there, from 6 until 7, Mike himself is going to take you on a history tour and familiarize. Say that for me.
Familiarize
everyone with the Roundhouse.
See, now you know why I'm the tech guy.
From 7 till about 8:30. Dave and I are going to be pulling out our first seminar that we ever did, Step into the Paranormal, that we will be presenting at the Roundhouse.
Very cool.
Then at 9 o'clock, we will start and lead a real live paranormal investigation of the entire facility and the grounds.
But you two are going to be there, right?
Absolutely. My birthday is the 18th, so this is going to be my belated birthday present to myself.
Now, the thing is that, as always, except for the Heritage, where Dave and I are dealing with the tickets, all the tickets, reservations, all that good stuff is going to be handled by Spring.
Spring, and she's on here at Spring.
She will be. The ticket sales go on sale on February 14th, Valentine's Day. And Spring will post you're going to have to email her. She will post everything, and you get your tickets through her. Yep. So it's going to be an amazing 4-part night.
So what we're going to do is when the event comes time, when the tickets go on sale, we're going to put a post on Paranormal Inc., our site, showing how to contact her directly for your tickets.
Right. All right.
So,
yeah, and they go on sale Valentine's Day. I'm not sure how many tickets. I mean, that's all up to Mike and Spring. It's their
Spring says right.
Yeah,
we got it right.
Yeah, it's their venue. So however they want to do it, we're just there to do our thing.
I'm excited.
If you want to go to a location, that's the one to hit.
What's that, what's that, Rob?
If you want to go to a location, that is definitely the place to go.
Yeah, and and the thing is, like, we've had a lot of people down in that area while we were there seemed to be kind of new to the paranormal field, and we were getting a lot of questions. So that's why Dave and I decided to go with our first and original seminar that we're going to do prior to the investigation. So it's a lot of fun. It's basically like a paranormal 101, and we have all the equipment on display, and Dave goes through everything and explains how it works and why it works, and we pass it through the crowd, and everybody gets to see how it works. And then just before we start investigating, if you want to sign out a piece of the equipment to use and take and try, and it's a good time. It is. Now, as far as upcoming shows, in 2 weeks, we have 2 special guests from Everyday Paranormal, or you might know them better from the hit show Ghost Lab, is Brad and Barry Kling. They will be joining us in 2 weeks on the 21st.
Very cool.
And today I just finalized our show for 2022, February 27th. We will have Sherry DeBenedetti from the original Ghost Hunters and now from Ghost Nation. So that is definitely a show you're going to want to check out. Sherry's a good friend of ours, and she's amazing in the field. And when you get to know her, she's very funny. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. So, Mr. Murphy, you have anything before we all
tell us how people get in touch with your side of the world?
No, I'm too busy on the moving part of it. I'm still trying to get used to getting the boxes all sprung open. But I definitely appreciate, again, if you guys are going to go ahead and do that talk at the same time, that's an awesome event that nobody should be missing. That would be fantastic.
Appreciate it.
Yep. And Kim.
Yes.
Find you if they need you.
So you guys can reach me at angelsandghostsparanormal@gmail.com, or you can check out my Facebook page, Angels and Ghosts. If you guys need me.
And they really have a really awesome logo. I've seen it.
I know a little something about that logo. I had a really awesome designer. Yes, you know all about it.
Do I get some kind of finder's fee or something?
Yeah.
Right. Yes, thank you again, Dave.
Yeah, so that did turn out. It turned out better than I expected.
It really did. It's exactly what I wanted. I cannot thank you enough. I can't wait to see it on a T-shirt.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Actually,
that's in the works. Hopefully, by the time you guys come back in town.
No doubt. Hey, you know what? I'm thinking a tattoo.
Yeah, I'm all about it. Yep, I agree.
I know. Tony DeVille. Hey.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah, Tony does all, because I got Dave and I each have. He's got one of our logos, and I got one of our logos. And then
that is so cool.
Yeah.
I got
yeah. And then I got the magnifying glass logo, and then over here
I got one back here.
Over here I got the old bald dude paranormal logo. So
he got some I
love it.
Over there.
But hey guys, we're looking forward to hooking it up again. And Rob, if you need us, you know how to get in touch with us. And
Rob, thank you for everything.
Yeah, thanks so much for
I appreciate it.
Just the kind words, and I love the skepticism. I mean, like I said to you 50 times at the Roundhouse and probably 50 times earlier tonight, you know, the experience that we believe Sandra may have caused, it couldn't have happened to a better person.
Yeah,
I'm so glad it was you.
Yeah, both of you.
You know, so
awesome.
Hey, Rob, any of those sound bites you got, throw them up on Paranormal Inc. so people can see them, and just tag them in there. You know, Sandra the Haunted Doll.
Yeah.
And then anything you got. I mean, she's amazing. I just, I'm glad we got her.
I know there's more coming. Make sure you go ahead and, if you could, go ahead and put the link back to that video, because I'm telling you, people should watch the video. It wasn't done, obviously, as far as that you guys were really going to make it pop, put it out there for the public to see, but it's so worth the public seeing. They need to be able to see things like that.
Like I said, Rob, we filmed that. My friend, Loren Malloy, we were discussing, she's the lady that edited my book, but we were discussing, Dave and I taking ownership of Sandra, and, she gave me the idea, film it like a documentary and keep it for our files. And I was like, you know what? That's a pretty good idea. So
yeah, that was smart.
I'm so glad we did, because you could tell it wasn't for the public. We weren't doing it for entertainment. And you can see if you know Dave and I, and then you watch his video, you can see the difference.
You know when I cut up.
Yeah,
That's me.
It was
I'm a cut
nothing
up.
like that.
But it went from a ha-ha to what the hell?
When we went over to evidence, and when we went over to evidence, and John McGinnis went over to evidence of filming, and it was just so much. And Dave and I and John were talking, and we just come to the conclusion, like, man, let's just throw the video on the show and just let people make up their own mind. It was too much to explain.
Yeah, that's why I invite people. And if you actually watch the show from that night, episode 50, I put a link up there, and it's still up to the actual audio, uncut, unedited, it's up on our site. It's called paranormalinc.net/Sandra.mp3. You can do a direct download to it. You hear us cutting up before we even open the box. Just kind of chatting. We didn't trim it at all. You guys listen to it. You make up your own mind. Put some headsets on it and listen. I mean, it's incredible.
Is that where she is all the time now? Right behind? Does she stay there?
No, she does not stay there. She's ended up right here a couple times in front of us on Guess Our Monitor.
I haven't experienced
Uh-huh.
I thought it was him messing with me. I'm like, dude, you're not funny. He's like, what do you mean?
Gosh, are you serious? She moved like on the front of the table.
And my daughter, who is 15, has come down twice because she does her laundry, and she'll peek her head around the corner. Dad!
Hey, Dave.
That is terrifying, though. Oh,
Get
my
some
goodness.
glow-in-the-dark powder and put under the stand. Is she still in the stand when she moves?
No, she's not in the stand. The stand stays there.
I was about to say, if she moves with a stand, I'd go ahead and put glow-in-the-dark powder, something to see if it tracks anywhere.
That's a great idea. Or put it like in the bottom of her case.
I have no clue because where we're sitting at is a void. It's carpet.
Right.
I got it. I think he just said he has no clue. I think I just figured it out.
Good luck.
Sorry. Usually we keep it G-rated. Now it's
too many cups of coffee.
There's too many things going on with that doll that we're not gonna. I know we're gonna be hearing more about that doll.
Yeah,
there's no way we're not going to.
We have a lot more. I mean, on a serious note, I mean, there's a lot more to it than we've come across just now.
Right.
But we'll keep everybody posted along the way. But so far,
like I said, we have only the story we've been told about her. We don't know the actual, and we've been digging. I'm trying to find more about the history behind her and seeing maybe if a photo somewhere or a little bit of the history of who Sandra was. So I don't know if I can find that or not. I'm trying.
That would be good. Are you guys bringing her in April?
Yes, she'll be with us.
Good.
Better.
Yes.
Because when we're during our seminar, we usually have all our equipment out so everyone can see, and Dave explains, and we're going to have Sandra on display as well. So
most definitely.
Rob, Kim, thank you so much. We appreciate you taking the time out of your Sunday to spend with us.
Always.
Thanks
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
And, Rob, I will be in touch, Rob. If you need us for anything, you know how to find us, and Kim as well.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
Enjoy the rest of your Sunday and stay warm.
Thank you for spending your Sunday evening with us.
Rob,
yes, the kids send their love.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yes.
I want to give a good night to my friend Nyla and Isaiah.
Oh, thank you for the shout out. They'll be so excited. They just love you guys.
They'll see it, Nyla.
Yes. Oh, thanks again, guys. Love you guys. Bye, Rob.
See ya.
See you soon. Keep in touch.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I'm excited about these things coming up. I really am.
Yeah, the Heritage Museum is going to be cool. We're going to have special guests from Ghost of Shepherdstown and Ghost of Morgan City. Mike King, he'll be with us.
Yep.
And man, the event at the Roundhouse, that's been a long time coming, and we finally got it put together. And that's just going to be a whole evening of
that's going to be a party.
It's like I said, it's 4 parts. It's going to be well worth it.
That's going to be a hell of a good time, man.
Yeah, and then of course our upcoming show in 2 weeks, we're going to have Brad and Barry with us from Ghost Lab. I was fortunate enough to do an event with them about 4 weeks ago, I guess, give or take. And they're just genuinely great and funny guys. they're going to be a blast on the show. So tune in 2 weeks on the 21st, and anything comes up along the way as far as events or special guests for upcoming shows, we will let you know as soon as we know.
Thanks for joining us on your Sunday, guys. Love you. Peace.
You've been listening to Step into the Paranormal with Ernie Atwell and David Seiler. Thank you for listening, and listen in next week for another topic and more great guests right here on WLFE DB Radio Network.